Yo, guys, welcome back to Undefeated at Locals. Once again, you are with Marvin and Edgar. This time we have something different for you guys. We're going to be going over 2 years in the My Hero Academia slash Universus CCG, right?
Yeah, so we've been at this for a while. Set one MHA came out, and I remember I sent him a message letting him know that we were doing the pre-release.
Yep,
He
absolutely.
was in another state at the time,
I
but
was indeed.
so yeah, we've been at this for a hot minute, right?
Yep, most definitely. Yeah. So we Edgar here got in with the pre-release. I got in the very next weekend, so right when the My Hero Academia format began. So we've been at this as about as long as the new guys at UVS games have been, and it's been a bit of a wild ride. So in the video, we're going to just kind of go over our entire little career in the card game, how we ended up making content in the first place, and then as you guys expected, we'll get into the news of UVS games and what My Hero Academia Universus CCG is looking like for the future. So yeah, let's just jump right in here. First up, the game just kind of starts, right? We don't really have an organized play set up in the first few months of the card game.
Yeah, we're playing locally. We're still playing standard at the time, right? So
Yeah,
it's
yeah, we sure
MHA
were. I
plus
was
Soul
personally
Calibur.
very confused at what I would be playing when organized play started.
Yeah,
So yeah, locally we were just kind of playing every set because that's what our locals were used to. They'd been playing the card game for a lot longer than we had continuously.
yeah.
Um, but then at the time, Jasco Games started up the Wednesday weekly webcam
Yeah,
events.
so that was our first taste of like organized play outside of locals, right? Was attending those, and they were super sick in the beginning.
Yeah, for sure. They do. They went like all out. They used to release like weekly meta reports on these Wednesday weeklies. They used to do all sorts of things. Not so much anymore. Not entirely sure why, but yeah, they used to be a much bigger event than they are today. That's for sure.
Yeah, so we did a ton of those. That was back when promos were hard to get.
Yeah, yeah. Plus, Ultra cards were
Yeah,
very few and far between, and now every store has a million of them.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so got a little bit of a taste of the competitive season, and decided that we wanted to, go full bore into it when it came out. So we played in, I think it was like maybe one or two online
yeah.
provisionals. We didn't do super well, but then Omaha comes around, right? Legendary Wolf Games announces that they will be the first in-person event, and nearly day one, we just decided to travel for it,
Yeah,
right?
it was one of those things. It was the first big in-person event, so we really wanted to attend it, and we did. We went to Omaha. I showed up there by plane, and you drove.
My brother, our family, we all drove to Omaha. Event was super sick. Still one of the most well-run events that has occurred in the card game to date. We didn't place too super high, not too low though. You guys can see it on the screen there. We did pretty well. Again, just getting a kind of taste for what the competitive scene looked like and whether we wanted to play in it. Coming home from that event, I was like the hypest I've ever been in the card game.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just decided from that point on I was going to get better at this game. I wanted to be the best. How did you feel coming back from that event?
I felt great. We got to meet a lot of a lot of the old heads, a lot of the big names you see today, which was super exciting for us back then, right?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
my first match was against Tony, and he just wrecked me zero
Yeah,
versus
yeah,
zero. That
that's
was
sick.
hilarious.
And now we see Tony like at every event, right?
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, no, like coming back from that was amazing, and like the meta felt good, card game felt good, and we were super excited to play in like new sets, new everything was coming out, and we were super excited for that.
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely. Yeah, so we got home, and it was kind of like felt like event after that.
hmm
Uh, n- Literally the next month, May 7th, a webcam event fires, and our team member Brent tops the event. Fire Tokiyami just kind of takes the world by storm back then. Brent running the bird himself. on a different symbol, of course, but still the bird.
Yeah, still bird.
Tops the event, gets what, 10th place, I
10th,
think.
yeah.
Yeah, super, super great. One of the first showings of Top Cuts for our team, and that was also super sick. Those old online provisionals just felt like super good. The pricing was pretty sick overall. Like everything just felt super, super nice. Um, yeah, no, it's like a much different feeling now. A lot less webcam events,
Yeah, yeah. Much more in person, much more difficult,
which is
but
cool, but yeah,
that's
difficult to travel to for sure. But yeah, we didn't place super high in that event. You gotta understand, me and Edgar got bored very easily in these webcam events.
yeah,
I
yeah. There
will say
was
that as well.
so many of them where we
That
just
we
quit three
dropped
rounds
round
in.
two. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Um, but team member Brent did super, super well. Jump ahead again. Another month later, June 4th, the Vegas Regional, the biggest event in the card game to date back then. Event was super wild, super crazy to see that
Oh
amount
yeah.
of people playing Universus.
Yeah, that one was a time, right? Like, we drove down there. There was so many different word of mouth things going on about the event. You know, we didn't know really what the prize wall looked like when they
Yeah,
announced it.
yep, yeah,
So
for
like we're
sure.
like, I guess we'll see when we get there.
Yeah,
And
yeah, the
uh,
event was pretty sick overall. Swiss ran pretty smoothly. Poor Edgar here, you brought half of your deck
yeah,
with
so
you.
we now have a tradition where we deck check each other the night before we leave because
Yeah,
I brought
absolutely.
exactly half of my deck with me. So
Yeah, yeah.
that was bad news.
Yeah, that was rough. The team, a lot of three of us there at the time, me, Nick, and Martin, were all pretty on the up and up throughout all of Swiss rounds.
Hmm.
Martin and Nick dropped behind me, but I ended the event just out of top cuts. Needed like a slightly better strength of schedule, one more match win, but it felt super good to just place that high at like such a big prestigious event. And Jasco Games at the time made it feel like a prestigious event, right? There was a ton of side events popping off everywhere. They
Yeah,
ran
yeah,
provisionals at this event, guys. The
yeah,
very next day, we didn't make top cuts, but then I got to take down a
yeah.
provisional. That's crazy. I got my contender mat that you guys see in every single video you've ever seen of my gameplay. So yeah, they made it feel a lot better back then than some of you new players may not be aware of now. But yeah, Vegas Regional went pretty well for us. Again, we're just kind of taking our first steps into the competitive scene, really getting our first big taste of like a big event like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Couple months go by, and August is the end of the season 2 scene. So we are at the end, going into another online provisional. Um, and how did season 2 end up with us? How did you feel by the end of season 2?
Season two was still good. Like, we were still in a pretty positive state. Uh, it was lukewarm because it was the same issue that we have where there's just like a lull
Of
of
events? Yeah,
events
absolutely.
between our webcams, and that we can't travel to all of them.
Yep, yeah, yeah. You can't just travel everywhere. No.
So, but we were still playing a lot. We were still super intense on the game at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we just like kind of tested for season 3, right?
Hmm.
Heading in August 27th, the very first season 3 provisional, first event that I've ever topped in the card game, getting 6th place overall, which will be a continuous thing for the rest of my career in the card game. I didn't know that back then, though. Super sick event. Topped it with All Might 3. Again, something that we'll see a lot in my career. But yeah, no, these events again just felt different than they do now. Even the webcam ones, the fact that there were webcam ones, right?
Yeah,
Like that was a much bigger deal back then for sure. And yeah, first event again, second time undefeated at locals, makes an appearance in Top Guts, felt very good. The very next month, almost exactly a month later, September 24th, kicks off another provisional event. Again, I top it with All Might
yeah.
3. Um, Yeah, and that's kind of getting towards the end of the year, right? October is when we're going to kick off the national level event. Um, Here's where I want to bring up something that once again UVS Games has kind of, for whatever reason, well, we know the reason, but they've taken it away permanently. The MVP program, right?
Yeah,
All year, this last year, Tam Cardwell worked his ass off to just be the leader of the community, right? This guy killed it. This guy was streaming and commentating every single event. He was playing in every single event. If you didn't know who Tam was, you probably hadn't been playing for more than a couple weeks,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
They decided to give him the Most Valuable Player award, which was supposed to take him to Worlds. Not going to get into the drama there. That doesn't end up happening, obviously. Tam was not the MVP. He did not go to Worlds. I'd love to know why we haven't done anything with that, though. That's crazy to let
Yeah.
one bad scenario play out the rest of your card game's history. That was a very sick idea, and I would love to bring back the MVP award. I know I won't get it, but like somebody should.
You're right.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, and that kind of starts a theme
Yeah, for
for
sure.
things here to
For
come.
Jasco Games, UVS Games. Yeah, yeah. This is kind of where we take our first plummet, right? Tim losing that reward award was like the first kind of strike in the history of UVS Games.
Yeah,
But yeah, that ends the season for us. For most people, again, Nats taking place in October, November. Once again, our team member Brent topping that event. Very, very cool. Didn't get far enough to get to Worlds, but still topped it.
yeah, yeah. Which is super dope.
Super
Yeah,
dope. Very impressive. Even that event was pretty fun. The webcam one, anyway. We did not travel for that one like we did
yeah.
this year. Um, but yeah, that ends the year going into the HLC. How did you feel about the first year of organized play?
Again, like there was hiccups here and there. I remember even back then, talking about well, cards need to be banned or rotted. There was a lot of issues. I think at this point they had only touched Kirishima at this
Yeah,
point.
yep, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Kirishima 1 got touched. Towards the end there is when they touched Froppy, right?
yeah,
They touched Frog Lashing right before like the national event
yes,
kicked off.
Frog Lashing,
Yeah.
Amphibious, and the Stronger in
Yep,
Darkness.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So heading into HLC, the big bad was Tokiyami still, right?
Mm-hmm.
This character was nuts. And Kirishima 2 was on the rise. There couldn't just be one, we had to fuck it up a second
Yeah.
time. Right before Worlds, they actually announced the next ban list, right? We take out Stronger in Darkness, we take out Crow and Frog Takedown,
Yep.
we take down Kirishima 2 entirely. But they definitely sure did completely warp every national event, right? Just entirely. They changed the entire metagame. Most of them were topped or not, and maybe even brought down by these
Yeah.
characters.
Saw a lot of Tokoyami,
Yeah, lot of
Tsuyu,
Tokiyami,
Jiro.
yeah, crazy amount of these characters. But heading into the Hero League Championship, the first Worlds event, we didn't even top, and that event was pretty sick, right?
Yeah, just being there, the side events were fun.
Yeah,
There was
they
plenty of them.
Yep, they did the League of Villains release. Like that
Yeah,
was super sick. Getting to play that set as early as we did was super dope. Like Edgar said, plenty of side events to go around. The first time that they really actually full sent the prize wall.
yeah,
And yeah, it was like a little bit rocky, it was gimmicky, but it was still there. It was still fun
yeah,
to compete, to watch the games play out. Um and then HLC ends and we break into the new year, right? Year two goes off. This is also right when we decide to get into content, guys. March, I believe, right, of
yeah.
2022 is when we started. Um, why did you get into content?
For the most part, it was we were playing the game a ton, right?
Yeah, like
And
nearly every day.
nearly every day we were, and it got to the point where we're like, at first it came down to well, let's record our game so we can watch them back,
Yeah,
and then like, well,
absolutely.
why don't we just post them? And then we started, just hard sending content every day. We're like, screw it, we're gonna on a daily release. How do we do daily releases? Well, we'll post gameplay, and that did well for a while. But you can only watch so many gameplay videos.
Yeah, yeah,
So
for sure. But yeah, yeah, content has just we started like I said, March, and it's really what's kept me in the game as much as I
yeah,
have been, right? Um you reach a certain skill level, and like eventually it starts to take like milestones of you upgrading your skill, right? It's no longer as easy as it was in the beginning. Content's really helped me get there. Rewatching my misplays, has really helped me get there. Talking with other content creators, it's been a very, very big, very fun experience overall. And that sent us into April, the Florida regional. The man, this was like,
Kissimmee.
yeah, kissing me. This was like the end of Ojiro reign.
Yeah,
We'd watched him decimate a couple of webcam
yeah.
regionals by this point.
Again, it's going to harken back to kind of the feelings we have today. It's one of those issues where Ojiro was a menace. Everyone knew it. Everyone was
Yep,
talking about it, and
absolutely.
they just decided not to touch him until he didn't matter, until he
Yeah,
was obsolete.
this event was when Mr. Brightside himself was finally taken down several notches. They hit nearly everything that I thought they would hit. Near everything that everybody asked one of them to get hit, right?
Yeah,
Make his enhance this, make his enhance that. Character was like nearly shadow banned, just like they have done with every character that they've been willing to touch. And that sent us into the June Pasadena IRL event, and the metagame honestly felt pretty good, right?
yeah. June felt fine. I think that's the event I brought. What did I bring? Did I bring Night Eye to that?
No, you brought. Man, I don't know what you brought to that. I know Nick brought Dobby too. He
Yep,
tops with
yep.
Dobby too. I brought All Might. I think it was right before Undaunted Raid had come out.
Yeah, it was just
Yeah,
before Undaunted.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But yeah, the meta felt super good. But this is when I start to realize these events just don't matter, right?
yeah,
I've
the
topped a
provisionals.
couple of these, yeah, even the regionals, right?
Yeah,
The regionals just did not matter. I topped two of them. Nick topped this one and got nothing to show for it except like the contender card, right?
yeah,
Like that's just crazy. Last year they mattered maybe a little bit too much. The point system felt a little bit too egregious for me, somebody
yeah,
that couldn't just travel to all these events, take down all of these events. But them not feeling good at all felt really, really bad. Like them not mattering whatsoever, that feels just not okay. And it's felt like that this entire OP season,
yeah,
right? Yeah, the entire OP season just felt like it didn't matter. We get into the July, the webcam event. Once again, that doesn't really matter. The biggest thing that mattered here was the metagame swapping into Overhaul and Mirio, right?
yeah.
This is when these characters are first starting to just,
As soon as they came out,
yep, just start decimating the field.
the theory crafting for them was done months before they came out.
Yeah,
As soon
yep,
as they were revealed, these decks were made, right?
absolutely. Yeah, people were
Uh,
already invested.
and for an entire set, they have been on top
The
of the game. Yeah,
characters, yeah, yeah, it's been pretty wild. It's crazy to I thought like things like frog lashing, even Kirishima one way back then, those things felt like they lasted forever. Those things felt like they lasted too long. It was always like one single season, right?
yeah,
Like, okay, this event happened. We don't want another event to get ruined, so let's cut it. Has not happened with Overhaul and Mirio. We just want them to take down every single
yeah.
event, apparently.
Yeah, and UBS Games has this constant. Well, it'll fix itself in the next set. It'll fix itself with the next release. It'll fix itself with the next, plus ultra cards, and it never fixes itself. They've been sitting. They did the same thing with Ojiro. Oh well, it'll fix itself when League of Villains comes out.
Yep, yeah, nope, never fixes itself. You actually have to do the thing. And yeah, this was the last event that I decided to play in until nationals, right? I just decided let's just test for nationals. These
Hmm.
events don't matter whatsoever. Nationals will matter. And we get to nationals, and you can watch the video on how that went. Y'all
Yeah,
should already
yeah,
know how nationals went for us and overall. Uh, Even after nationals, today we jump to today. We're still in the same exact metagame that we were in July 15th.
yeah, yeah.
That's crazy.
You got knocked out of the running by overhauls. I got knocked out by Mirios.
Yeah, yep,
My
absolutely.
literally only game losses were to Mirios.
In
So
my first 4 rounds, I fought overhaul 3 times. That's wild.
yep,
And yeah, guys, this is actually going to be like the brunt of the video. Why we've taken you down the last 2 years. A, to show you just some positivity. I love this card game, right? This
yeah,
is how long we've been playing the card game. We've stuck with it this long, even through all of this, through thick and thin. But I really wanted to show some of you new players and even maybe remind some of you older players. I truly believe this game has gotten worse every single day we've played it.
yeah,
Not
yeah,
mechanically, but organization wise. We used to, again, announce Wednesday weekly webcams. We still stream them, but it used to be a lot more special of a thing back
yep,
then. We would announce the meta breakdown of these Wednesday webcam weeklies. We went from having Monday monthly mayhem events to you completely destroying them right out of the gate. They were like some of the worst events that you've run in your history. And instead of improving, instead of fixing, we've just decided to get rid of it, right?
yeah.
This was bad, we did bad, so instead of improving on it, let's just cancel the whole thing.
Hmm.
Oh, there was a weird drama thing with the MVP program. Man, that super sucked. Maybe we didn't handle that well. Instead of learning from it, how about we actually just axe it? Let's not
Yeah.
learn from it. Let's just cut
Yeah, let's never do that again.
it. Yeah,
Uh,
and that's just been like the history of UVS games, right? This kind of goes to show you guys. Again, I truly believe that we have not improved. We've only gotten worse.
yeah, and you know, it's an easy fix. And what set this off, right? We were waiting for today, so we would see what the ban list looked like
Yes,
before we started talking about it. But even yesterday, they announced the LCQ
LCQ
events.
events and the fact that now their webcam events don't matter, right?
Yeah,
They're going to run 2 webcam events over the next 2 months. If seemingly we don't actually know the real information, which is another just UVS games thing, let's announce an announcement to an announcement to an announcement, and you'll probably hear about the actual information one day prior to the event.
yep, yep,
But seemingly, if you top these events, you'll get travel to Florida, is how they want you to think this. You can get a travel ticket to go to Worlds. We've already sold, the last time I checked, I think it was nearing half of the LCQ tickets are gone. It could actually be an astronomical number now. I checked this last night.
yeah,
So yeah, if you top this event, now potentially by the time you realize, oh, I can go to Worlds, the LCQ is sold out. You can't
yep,
go to Worlds
yep.
anymore.
And it's one of those things where well, you could just buy the ticket now.
Yeah, no, I'm not trying to burn $30 of my money. I
Yeah,
like that would be like me just lighting $30 on fire.
yep.
Like
So
I don't trust your refund program at all. It's never worked for me in the past. I've tried several times, and I don't trust you to run these side events, right? That's what I
yeah,
was told by other community members all day yesterday. Oh, you can just play in the side events. What side
yeah.
events?
Anyone who went to the Nats this year knows that the side events were a huge issue.
Yeah,
Their entire system went down. So like maybe they have it fixed, but they haven't been able to prove that to us. And I'm not going to just trust with blind faith anymore.
nope,
Like,
same. Yeah, yeah, exactly. You don't just get another chance. I'm not just going to put all my money on the line for what will most likely, according to all of the other events this year, be a very mediocre event. And yeah, we get to today. They update the ban and errata list, and
we're looking at a lot of things.
yes, yeah, yeah, we're looking at a lot of things, just like last month, just like the month before that. We're analyzing data. We're looking at a lot of things. Nothing's touched.
Yeah.
Mirio and Overhaul still reign supreme. Capture Evildoers,
Capture
a
evildoers.
set one card that's been dominating our metagame for almost all of it, is still just alive and well and is about to empower at minimum 3 OTK decks.
Yep. Yep.
Crazy.
And it's huge, right? Like people have been hot on the heels of characters like Tokoyami and Jiro
Yeah.
and Tsuyu who did this, and rightfully so.
Yep.
But just to let this fly for a whole 2 years,
Yep.
like Capture Evildoers has been played in all of the
Oh
top
yeah,
decks,
yep. Yeah, exactly. Every single good deck that's been around has generally been empowered by this one card.
Yeah, and like beyond that, there are other issues, other glaring issues in the format. Punch, the punch kit in itself, over 60% of the people who got into worlds with punch decks. That is incredible. That out of 52 decks or something like that,
Yeah.
60% of them being punch.
Yep. No, absolutely insane. How many people got their worlds invite with Overhaul?
Yeah,
Like,
Overhaul overwhelmingly overpowered the meta, followed by Mirio, followed by Eraserhead, and then followed by 8 other characters, right?
yeah, you guys can
Um,
see these stats on the screen. These are very real numbers that Edgar has put together over the last few hours. This is the entire metagame right now, right?
yeah.
And has been for a while, even before Overhaul, before Mirio. Mirio is not the first good punch character to abuse Capture Evildoers.
No.
We've seen this abused time and time
Yeah.
again.
All Might's done it. Deku's done it to
Yep.
varying levels of success.
Yeah, yep.
And like uh other decks, right? Other decks are still running punch. Good and void at this point are both running punch, and life
Yep.
are all running punch. So if you're running one of those three symbols and you're not running punch, just run punch and you're gonna win,
Yep,
right?
yeah,
You
yeah,
have a
that
higher
is
likelihood of
Yep,
success.
yeah, that is what UVS Games has decided is the format,
Yep.
right? Repeated Smash has dominated.
Texas Smash is still the most played attack.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane.
Or back alley haymaker, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah, of course it is. It's back alley haymaker, right? It's the attack.
Hmm.
People are running it when their character is based off of the weapon keyword. Like,
Yeah, weapons running it, Jiro's running it, just because it says charge and
yeah,
stun too. Like it says charge, that's good enough.
yeah, it
But
draws us a card, maybe builds us one. Yeah, the meta has got grown extremely stale. Honestly, I feel more than we've ever seen in the past. There's cool decks, don't get me
yeah,
wrong, right? Like there's people doing cool things. But at nationals that seemed few and far
yeah.
between for me.
And this isn't a dig at the players playing those decks either.
Nope.
Like
Yeah,
play what you're
I
gonna
played
win with.
those decks.
Yeah.
I played All Might
Yeah.
3,
You
guys.
played
I've
good
played it
punch
the
your
whole
entire
time.
career.
Yeah, yeah.
So this
No,
isn't
not
a
at
dig
all.
at those people playing the decks. They exist, right?
Yep.
This is a dig at UVS Games for not seeing the problem and needing what, another 2 webcam events worth of data, and
Yeah.
then what, touch these cards a week before
Capture Evildoers
HLC?
was literally a free ban. That
Mm-hmm.
card was completely free. You would have caught zero flack from it. Literally the entire community wanted to see that card go. And if it was your one singular announcement, honestly I'd probably be a lot better
Yeah.
feeling right now. For me personally, I'd feel a lot better about the coming meta. Your announcement today guaranteed just the absolute destruction of anything cool happening at your first webcam event.
Yeah.
Things like Ryukyu, things like Jiro 2, those characters are going to just stomp your field.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we're just in the turn 2 meta. We're in the Ojiro meta again,
Yep, yeah,
where if you're
people
not
are
killing
just
your opponent
attempting
on
to
turn 2, yeah,
OTK. Yeah, so please, once again, just do better. You say you're collecting data. Content creators give you the most data that anybody else could give you, right? We give you probably more data than your tournament scene gives you at this point. Um, just do the thing. Don't don't announce announcements. Why are we releasing? How many is this in a row? I think this is maybe 4, 5 in a
4, yeah,
row that
at
have
least.
been no update.
Yep.
Why are we doing that? Why are we even bothering?
Yeah, and it was one of those things where they announced, it will be once a month. That was a great announcement.
Yeah,
At this point, though, it has been once every 5 months
yeah,
because
absolutely.
if nothing gets touched, that's the thing. Even the first month that nothing was touched, something needed to change. Then, oh well, they're not going to do it this month. Maybe they'll do it next month. Not that month either.
Nope.
Maybe next month. And at this point, it's become honestly a meme.
Yeah, absolutely.
Today.
Yeah, it is your data collection literally became a meme online this
Yeah,
morning. Like that is everywhere. You have what is it? Copy pasta? You
yeah,
have copy pasted yourself more times in the last 30 days than I've ever seen happen on the internet.
yeah,
It's crazy. So yeah, organized play, do better, hire somebody. I don't know. I don't personally know what's happening on your guys' side of the field, but it's not good. We talked about this last month. I actually did not think I'd be recording the same video 2 months in a row.
yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah,
I actually did have a slight amount of faith that you guys would see our like other content creators' videos, our videos, you'd see your community, your big Discord that you have. I legitimately felt like there would be some real change that we incited. Apparently, that is just not the case. Getting into a more of a happy note, your design team has decided to fucking kill it. Like, hire those guys to run your events, maybe. I don't
yeah.
know. Jet is sick, guys. This set feels like the best set to play in ever, right? Set
Ages.
one
Yeah,
was too powerful. Set two was garbage. Set three brought Odro, and that was about it.
yeah, yeah. That four was nothing.
Nothing,
Nothing.
literally nothing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Set five was
Mirio and
Mirio and
overhaul.
Overhaul. Yeah, like this set actually feels good. There's cool characters doing cool things. Yes, of course, there's my Dragon Lady doing not a cool thing, but y'all could have fixed that. You chose not to.
Yeah, yeah. And it's crazy, right? Like we've we're our excitement for the game is at its peak right now.
Yeah,
For
100%. Mechanically,
locals,
yeah,
for
absolutely.
playing with our
Yeah,
friends.
playing the card game
Um,
is more fun than it has been in a long time for both of us.
Marvin is on. If he doesn't win a webcam event, he's not going. And potentially, if he does win a webcam event, he's
Yeah,
not going
yeah,
to
that's like a
Worlds.
great bring up. I am no longer going to Florida. I absolutely refuse. I will, like Edgar said, I will go if UVS Games pays me to go. Other than that, it's just not worth it for me. I will see what organized play looks like next year. And if that isn't looking good, if you still haven't announced anything, if regionals still feel worthless, I won't travel to those either.
Yeah,
I guess we'll test until nationals. I'll test from January to October.
yeah. We'll do
I
our provisional store
refuse to give UVS
championships,
games money.
and that's
And
it.
yep, refuse to give you guys money until you show me real change. I would much rather go support my local game stores like you guys have chosen not to. And yeah, that's just where we're at with UVS games. I legitimately love to get an actual update, anything really. Like
Yeah, not we've collected some data and we've learned a lot this year, and we'll be employing it next year.
yeah,
The end.
yep, absolutely. Do not ruin this huge Worlds event for your 32 players that worked their asses off to get there. That would be crazy.
Yeah.
It would be insane to have the same metagame, to have the same solutions to the same problems. It's just getting old. But again, the game is not. The game is still sick to play, guys.
Yeah. So, get out there, support your local game stores.
Yeah, go to these LGS events. Tamron Cardwell and David Toombs over at Let's Talk UVS. They are running the sickest event we've seen in the card game yet. Two case events plus cash prizing plus holiday themed playmats. Holiday themed UVS games. You have an episode. You have a Christmas episode, and David thought about it before you did. Insane. Go support that tournament. That's $12, and you don't have to travel.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
$12. They're gonna give you a case of Jetburn if you top it.
And they'll be sending the prize out the
The
day
the
after.
day after, the money the day of.
Yeah.
There's employees of UVS games that haven't had that happen yet. Yeah, so go support the homies doing that tournament. Even go support UVS Games doing the webcam tournament. I'd love to have those maxed out and show them that webcam tournaments are still important.
Yeah.
You should still be running these events no matter what. And yeah, most of all, like Edgar said, go support your local game store. They're running pre-release events this weekend. Those are going to be sick.
Yeah.
Very excited for Jetburn. It feels so good to play out of that singular set, and that's what those pre-release events are great for. It's the limited format. You don't have to worry about capture evildoers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, guys, I think that's it. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Took a little bit more time on this video than normal. A lot of data collection.
A lot of data collection. Yeah. Yeah. Didn't
Um,
take us 6 months, but
yeah, it took us a few hours. Um, yeah, please like, comment, subscribe. Let us know how your time in the game has been. Um, and even sling positivity, right? If you're excited for the HLC, tell me. You're allowed to be excited.
yeah,
Like
yeah,
that's
we're
not
not
what
gonna.
I'm saying at
Yeah,
all.
no one's not supposed to go.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, absolutely. I'm not going, but that's a personal decision. So let me know how you guys feel and catch us for more Jetburn content.
peace.